This is Fox 2 News in the Morning.
Incredible images this morning here in South County as part of I-55 is shut down and underwater. The detour being recommended by MoDOT.
The people of Valley Park are holding their breath this morning as the river is about to crest in a few hours if they think it's going to hold.
And that Eureka man we showed you yesterday during our breaking news, rescued from his truck in the middle of floodwaters, why he thought it was important to stay with his truck and risk his own life.
Dry time continues important as we continue to watch the river levels rise. We've got the latest updates and checking out your holiday forecast.
And you're riding with the Nissan Roadrunner on Fox 2 News at 5 a.m. Stay with me. I'll be out checking all the road conditions for your morning commute. I'll let you know what's open and what's closed.
Thank you, Bobby, and good morning to you. Welcome into our 5 o'clock hour. It is Thursday, December 31st, the last day of 2015, and wow, what a way to send it out, right?
New Year's, and the wind is out there blowing this morning. A live look from our roof cam here in Maryland Heights. 32 degrees, right at the freezing mark this morning, Annalise.
Yes, we're there again, so it's going to be another chilly start as we wrap up the year, and it actually feels some 10 or so degrees colder than the actual temperature. So bundle up, gonna need the good coat today. It's a cold one to kick it off. Dry time is going to continue. So good to see this trend of much needed dry time. As we take a look around Washington University, it looks like all is quiet, but you do see those heavy clouds hanging around. They'll be here this morning, but don't worry, we do have some sunshine in the forecast. Just going to be a cold start and cloudy with wind chills right now in the 20s.
All right, thank you, Annalise. This morning, more fallout from the flood. Another major interstate shut down because of water on the road.
I-55 in Arnold is now closed after being overtaken by the Merrimack River overnight. Fox 2's Chris Renier is live in Arnold along the interstate with where motorists are supposed to go now. Chris?
Randy and Seth, good morning to both of you. Simply another incredible sight from the flooding here. We are just off 55 at Merrimack Bottom Road here in South County. Take a look behind me. Part of I-55, this section right here, most of it underwater from floodwater from the Merrimack River. MoDOT crews out here doing what they can to try and salvage some dry areas. They actually have concrete trucks here carrying sand. They're using that sand to fill big industrial sandbags to try and give themselves enough space to operate. Basically, water is over most of the 55 southbound lanes here and most of the northbound lanes as well. 55 completely shut down this morning from the 270, 255 interchange in South County all the way down to 141 in Arnold. Bomber Eagle Automotive Skyfox was over the scene here last night. MoDOT shutting down 55 here about 10 o'clock last night. The traffic backup, as you can see, was massive. Crews had been battling the Merrimack floodwaters, trying to keep 55 open. They were using these massive industrial sandbags to try and hold back the water, but Mother Nature finally won out as the water was simply too much. Among the problems for crews, water actually started coming up out of the drains on the highway. A MoDOT spokesperson telling me this morning that right now it is unclear how long the closure here might last. This shutdown becoming even more serious given all of the other closures, including that major one on I-44. Another developing issue this morning is the Lee Ferry Bridge in the Arnold area, also over the Merrimack. I just spoke with MoDOT officials here at the scene. They are telling me right now one lane is open on that Lee Ferry Bridge, so you can still get over that bridge at this point, but that again is over the Merrimack, so it is touch and go. The Telegraph Bridge in the Arnold area is also open this morning, another outlet for people to get over the Merrimack in this area. So here is the bottom line. Obviously we're in the morning, so northbound 55 traffic is going to be the biggest deal. Here is the detour recommended by MoDOT. If you're coming north on 55, get off at the Imperial main exit. Take that over to Telegraph or Route 231, go north on 231, and that will take you up to the 255, 270 interchange where you can hop back on 55. Randy and Seth, we had this kind of image yesterday on 44. This morning, it is 55. The water continuing to take a toll on major arteries in the St. Louis area. Back to you.
Chris Renier live this morning. Very unbelievable images, actually. Thank you, Chris. 5:05 right now. Residents of Valley Park are waiting with bated breath this morning as forecasters expect the Merrimack River to crest in just a few hours. Fox 2's Catherine Hessel. She continues our Flood Watch team coverage this morning. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning. Well, they're expecting the river to crest at 6 a.m. and it's already unbelievably high. I mean, we had crews out here the other day standing under a stoplight, and that stoplight is now underwater. That gives you an idea of how just high this water is right now. But the entire lower part of Valley Park is more of a ghost town after the mayor declared a mandatory evacuation of the area yesterday. So waking up away from their homes this morning, people are just crossing their fingers that their houses are going to make it through the day today. And police are keeping everyone away from the levees and the lower parts of Valley Park to make sure that no one interferes with all the barriers that they've set up. And the mayor says the Army Corps of Engineers is pleased with the stability of the levee, and the city leaders are pretty confident that it will hold. Now, last night, workers added to the top of the flood fall, and business owners finished up sandbagging all of their shops.
I still can't believe that it's even happening. Especially I was 11 years old when the flood of '93 came, and I remember boats being around here. So it's pretty scary right now, especially how vacant this whole entire area is.
We've got some friends that are actually flooded out, you know, they're totally surrounded by the flood, and they have no way of getting help. So hopefully we can find a way of getting to them.
Like I said, the river is about to crest in just a few hours. I know all those people are definitely waiting anxiously. We'll be out here and show you what happens. Live in Valley Park, Catherine Hessel, Fox 2 News.
Meanwhile, Missouri Governor Jay Nixon toured the flood damage in Pacific yesterday. He also spoke with President Obama to update the president on conditions in the state of Missouri. The governor says 14 people have died in flooding across the state this week. All but one was caused by accidents when they drove through high water at night. Remember the phrase, turn around, don't drown.
5:07 right now. Despite the flooding, it will be back to class as scheduled next week for Eureka High School. Right now, floodwaters have reached the home of the Wildcats just east of the Merrimack. Yesterday, it's actually just west. Workers have put up sandbags around the school, and they say some water got inside, but there's no major damage. The Merrimack crested in Eureka around 5 yesterday evening, more than 3 feet above the record from 1982.
Efforts to save the High Ridge water treatment plant have been called off. Floodwaters could threaten drinking water for thousands of residents. There's no boil order in effect as of now, but authorities are asking residents to conserve water there and in many of the communities in South St. Louis County as the flooding has stressed the water supply.
Skyfox spotted several water rescues from up above yesterday, including this one that left us with more questions after the man was safe. Sam Andrews, owner of Tier 1 Weapons Systems, says his truck stalled in the water, but he was committed to getting it out to make sure his last load of firearms did not get into the wrong hands. So with his legs dangling out of the back window you see there, he steered out of the flooded parking lot with firefighters' help.
The kind of stuff that we build is the type of tools that you only want the best people to have. You certainly don't want a criminal element or a radical element to get these types of materials in their hands. And so we had to make sure that that stuff got out safely. Worked extremely well. Yeah, we got the truck out and got all the equipment out completely dry.
Andrew says his wife sent him a text after seeing him rescued on live TV. She wrote, "Are you done playing in the water?"
At least there's a sense of humor somewhere. We're going to go to our Nissan Rogue Runner right now, who is actually on 55. And Bobby, I understand you had to get a police escort to be where you are right now, right?
That's right, guys. I'm 55. I'm actually in the southbound lanes looking north. I was escorted to this location, and you're looking at the water across the lanes of 55 southbound right at Merrimack Bottom. The crews were here all night or yesterday afternoon late trying to contain this water. But overnight, they lost the battle. The water did come across the interstate. You still see a lot of MoDOT crews on the scene. You see those those sand barricades that were put up overnight to try to contain this water. But water is on the interstate now. All lanes are closed. You will see the detours at 255 and 270. You will also see detours along the interstate in this section. You cannot get on. So just another road closure during this battle with the Merrimack River. However, Lee May Ferry in Arnold, still a couple lanes open there. Then Telegraph Road, lanes open there on that bridge. So there's still a few ways to get from Jefferson County into St. Louis County. This is Bobby Hughes and the Nissan Roadrunner. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks so much, Bobby. Dry time, good to see. We're going to keep it going through this morning. So looks like all is good to go on 40 as we do take a look right now. Some slow traffic for now, and weather not going to be an issue as we go on through the commute. We'll continue, though, with some cold numbers. Temperatures this morning have once again been near the freezing mark, feeling, though, more like 20s. Some spots in the upper teens across our north. It stays dry, though. Check it out. Quiet map, and that's pretty much all across midsections of the country, thanks to a large area of high pressure. We do keep, though, those clouds around, but they're going to continue to roll out as well once we do get into later on midday and into the afternoon. Waking up this morning, here are your numbers. 32 St. Louis, a lot of low 30s, even some upper 20s out around Columbia, 29, Kirksville, 25. So regionally, we will see 20s to start it off. Now we move on through the day. Last day of 2015 is going to be a pretty one. We start off, again, not a lot of sunshine, but don't get discouraged. We do see it returning, especially as we get into midday and into the afternoon. Highs getting into the mid to the upper 30s. And yes, that does keep us below average. This is still so good to see. We're going to see dry time through the weekend into the start of the next week. So it does look like an extended period of dry time as we do try to see those river levels dropping, which they will start to do as we get into late this weekend. Checking in on your travel weather if you're trying to catch a flight from Lambert. It's not going to be a problem for you. No delays reported here. Where you may run into some delays with the weather, especially Atlanta, Boston, and Philly.
Thank you, Annalise. Flooded roads and highways, snarled traffic, causing gridlock in parts of St. Louis last night.
People were stuck in this for hours. How long it took some of them to get home.
Plus, historic flood levels are drawing people to see the water, the impact the flood is having on local business.
Looking live from our roof cam, Old Glory, flapping in the breeze. A bit of a breeze out there, 32 degrees at 512. We'll be back. Here's a look from our Nissan Roadrunner. He is on 55 just south of Merrimack Bottom, but he is pointing northbound. Got a police escort to that location just to show you how the floodwaters have crept onto 55 and now will cause even more problems on your morning commute if you have to go to work today. It is New Year's Eve, after all. A lot of folks sometimes take today off, even half days. Yeah. So if you can stay home, certainly probably a good idea to do so.
And many of you were telling us online and on Twitter and Facebook how long it took you to get home yesterday. The floodwaters causing major gridlock on many of the streets and highways. Along
I-270, it looked like rush hour for some 5 hours last night. The highways that were open were full, and surface streets that people turned to in bad traffic were in some cases even worse. Lindbergh Boulevard described as a nightmare, with a trip from Manchester Road to Tesson Ferry nearly taking 3 hours, according to one driver.
Check this out. The floodwaters at I-44 and 141 in Valley Park have become a popular pit stop for visitors. Water is engulfing fast food restaurants and other businesses as sightseers armed with cameras snap pictures of this historic flood. The business owners in the area say they're assessing their next moves as the situation changes minute by minute. MoDOT hopes to reopen that intersection by Friday if the water recedes, but crews would have to clean up the mess and assess any damage.
And of course, Missouri not the only area being affected by these floods. In Illinois, Granite City officials say There have not been any massive evacuations at this time, but people living in 2 mobile homes have been advised to leave. About 75 to 100 families were rescued by boat from high water at the Village Green Mobile Home Park on Sunday. And in Cahokia, a video from yesterday afternoon shows water rising into the building and submerging some vehicles at Pay Later auto sales lots. They are said to have moved all of their vehicles to another lot.
Annalise, so what's the latest here? Which rivers are we still watching as trouble spots, and is there any good news in the forecast right now?
Well, some spots north, the locations north of the river on Merrimack, Mississippi, have already crested. So there's the good news. We're waiting on the last 2 locations, Arnold and Valley Park for Merrimack. And then Mississippi, we're waiting for St. Louis and Chester. So we do have a couple more locations with those major rivers that have really caused some issue. We're waiting on those crests. They're going to happen today, tomorrow, and into Saturday. Then we're done. However, it takes a few days. There's still a lag when that water is going to get out of major flood stage. There's going to be a lag. So there will still be some major flooding to go even after these rivers have crested. So keep that in mind. You're not totally out of the clear once it has crested. But as we take a look, Merrimack, again, we've been showing you those reports through the morning where there are issues along Merrimack. Valley Park cresting this morning. So right now that's ongoing. It'll continue to be ongoing through the next couple hours. 28 feet above flood stage, going down as the record high. Also record high Arnold cresting midday, 23 feet above flood stage at 47 feet. So again, we'll continue to watch this, but we're talking about really the first half of today as the Merrimack does finish cresting. Checking out the Mississippi, we've got still St. Louis to go as we get into tonight, really through the evening. We're watching Grafton and Alton through this morning. And for Chester, that's the highest on this one. All locations major flooding, 20 feet above flood stage in Chester at 47.5 feet. That's what it's forecasted to go on Saturday morning. So we do need to keep an eye out on those locations as well. So we take a look right now, Coffee Cartel on the Mattress Direct camera. Again, it's good to see that we're going to keep the dry time going. We're certainly not talking about any wet weather that's going to worsen the situation, but we do keep a little bit of a breeze, some cold numbers to wake up to. Check it out, 32. Feeling more like the low 20s, 23, a northwest wind 12 miles an hour. It is going to kind of pick up through the morning as we continue on through the next several hours. Temperatures in the upper 20s to the low 30s. So once again, we're going to wake up with those near freezing temperatures and wind chills anywhere from the upper teens to the mid 20s. Feels like 18 degrees right now in Vandalia. So certainly going to be a cold one to start it off. You wake up, you're not seeing the sunshine, and you wonder where it is. It's going to be coming. Slow process. Heavy clouds rolling out by midday and into the afternoon. And then as we get into tonight, tomorrow, it's going to be sunshine early on. Start to finish, very pretty day, kicking off the new year. So checking out your extended forecast for today. 37 degrees, clouds are moving out. And for tonight, rolling in the new year, take the bigger coat. It's a chilly one. Temperatures are in the low to mid 20s, 24 around the St. Louis area. This weekend is going to be very pretty, a little chilly, but not all that bad. Temperatures actually rebound and return to near average for this time of the year. 40s are making a comeback, guys.
Thank you. Coming up, actor and comedian Bill Cosby is out on bail this morning after being charged with sexual assault.
What incident those charges stem from?
Plus, the flood watch coverage continues. We'll show you how this family of 2 was rescued from the roof of their home.
And a live look this morning, that is 55 southbound looking north, however. Flooded 55, both directions shut down. We'll keep our eye on it for you all morning long here on Fox 2 News at 5 a.m.